back. It's Uncle Destiny here for you. And as it is, it's time to find out what the month of January 2016 holds for everybody. Now, we are now entering we've now just entered into the winter season, having followed the solstice. So we're looking at the winter energy, which is, depending on where you are, it's also summer in those of you in the southern hemisphere, about the both waning and rising of energy. So the energy that we're waning here is rising in the southern hemisphere. But we're also entering the first month of a new year. So the question is, what does this month, which starts out the year and takes us forward from there, hold for everyone? So let's see what the ancestors have to say. And I want to remind you, this is a general reading for everybody. Anything more specific needs to be done specialized. So you can contact me below. Also, you'll also find below the listing for my site, which also has what's called the Hoodoo Card of the Week, which also talks about the energy for that week's energy and what would be influencing things. So, check the website if you want to see this video again and also to read the card. Otherwise, let's go to get the ancestors in and see what they have to say about the month of January 2016. Alrighty. So, as has been said in the past, anything that does not end up on the reading surface is not a part of the reading. Anything on the edge of it, we'll just go ahead and push that one on, but we know that that one was there at the cusp of things. So, what do we have here? So, our main bones in this case are work, family, home. Now what's interesting is the way they've come together in this pattern. What I see is a hill. And the hill itself has its low points, and we've got the high point. The high point in this case is work. The lower points are the home, our home and family. But that's not a bad thing. But what it does show is that in this next month, it's going to be about where you are on that hill. What is the energy and where do you need to put your focus on? Now, ideally, the question is, are you at the top of the hill or at one of the two bottoms of it, the bottom of it on either two sides? Now, the copper piece and several of the support bones themselves are here on the slope of the work bone, and that I see as being like a tree on the hill. It's providing shelter, it's providing shade, but it's also helping anchor the hill so it's not turning into a mudslide and overwhelming the family situation. So you're going to have to be deciding in this point, have you made sure that you've got a good anchoring with spirit and the energies that they're putting in towards what your work goals are? Because these two, home and family, are going to be supporting the hill that is work. So work is going to be very important in this next month. So understand that that's going to be a very big focus. As we look at the rest of the other bones, we also have a collection of support bones, specifically also the spinal bone, which, as I've said in other readings, kind of reminds me, it's at the top of the spinal cord, but also reminds me of the pelvic bone. So we have that aspect of birth and new beginnings, but also the mind, and what sparks any new beginning too, are collected down here along the family, or the home bone. And there's that aspect, like I said before, the copper piece is acting like a tree, which has got rooted into the hill. What's down here is kind of that debris that did wash down. But the thing is, debris that washes from the top from the hillside is also what fertilizes where you can grow things lower on the hill. So there's a lot of things here that have been also fertilized in this soil that from this debris that you will be able to grow from. And it's going to be around the home situation. So that may also mean things that are much more home related, such as a home business or a new project that relates to your home, or projects that you do inside your home that have new beginnings that will help you produce other things elsewhere. And just below that we have the quartz piece. And as I said, quartz is about memory. And things of the past and lessons past. And so it's below that. So you want to look at what are the memories that are coming up around your new project that relate to the past. What have you done in the past that you have learned from in this moment? What are the things in the past that you can have inspired you and that you've also used to be able to do whatever the project is that you're going to be giving birth to, or that has the spark of ideas coming with it? Our other support bones that come across here, they move away from the home bone but begin becoming more of the support structure for under the hill. And more so I see these as being the stones that the hill has started to rise off of. These are the bones of the earth, the stones of the earth, the old memories, the ancestors. So how are you bringing the ancestors and that support structure in with you when you go to work? I mean, it's not one thing to think about what maybe if you're in the computer industry, what's all the coding and what's the latest things, but also sometimes stop and think about what are the older codes that your present code might be based off of. How might they actually provide you with a way of fixing the problem? Let alone, how might they also be what may be keeping your project from working the same way? Because they have a certain way of functioning that they may not be compatible with what you're doing now. But that doesn't mean that that's wrong. It just means that they are a foundation you need to be aware of in the bigger scheme, the bigger hillside that you're dealing with. Just as equally, if you're, say, in the crafting industry, the simple stitching work you're doing in making, say, a sweater has been done for centuries across the world. So how can you appreciate that stitchery pattern or to say that knotting pattern, that sewing pattern, to be able to bring that together? Which also then brings us to this bone here, which is I think it's part of the shoulder, but it's here under family. So there's also going to be an aspect about wishing and what are the boundaries and things that we wish for our family in the month of January. Is it success in school? Is it passing a driver's test? Is it, well, simply put, getting their heads out of their asses? Or having success? Understand what we are wishing and why we are wishing that for them. And understanding that foundation of how we can then propel and push the positive energy towards those family members. Because the thing is, we have to do it indirectly. We can't go up and tell them what to do. We have to send it out to the universe and say that these are the positive wishes we want for them. And I think that also comes into the bone that was sitting here off the edge of the reading surface, that there are support issues that are going to be coming in for our families, and by default to ourselves. But we have to be willing to create the environment first that encourages that positive support. Now, as for these bones over here, since they are also on the family side of it, I foresee there's going to be some difficulty, I think, around food. So someone may either have a issue where they will run low on money for food, or they may have an issue where certain foods will have an allergic or health impact on them. Just as equally, they may also find themselves in a point where certain foods are now dangerous to them. So allergies, you want to be very aware of that. And that's also part of the support that you want to be able to give the family, is be able not to shame them around this situation, but to help them understand and change according to those food changes and see how that affects their lives. But it's bringing out support. It's bringing out the way things need to move in that regards. So that's about it for what the ancestors are saying for the month of January 2016. Tune in and you'll also see the reading for the year of 2016. Otherwise, we will see you again in February for 2016, which I will also tell you right now, there will be the Pantheacon Convention in San Jose. I will be there, and I've got a presentation that should be happening, I believe, on Saturday at 7, which is Anansi storytelling, which is for all ages, not just the kiddies, also for you adults. So if you're there, feel free to come by and say hi. Otherwise, this is Uncle Destiny, and wishing you well, and on behalf of the ancestors and the spirits, Ashe.